Well, hello everybody out there and welcome to another random video. And yes, finally it is time. Another mini disc related video. Hey. Yeah, a lot of you might be wondering what is going on with my mini disc life. What is going on? Because as you may know, I kind of stepped away from mini disc and I bought this receiver that gave me the ability to listen to my music from an external hard drive, and it was so much easier, so much more convenient. And yeah, I didn't really miss mini discs that much. But yeah, right now, because I stepped away from mini disc, I have the ability or the opportunity to experiment a little bit and test a few things. I have also started experimenting a little bit with high MD and stuff like that. Maybe I will talk about this in another video. But right now I want to talk about this project right here. So as you may know, I have two mini disc decks. I mean, basically I have three, but yeah, I have two of these Sony MDS-JE640 Minidisc decks, and they are DSP Type R Minidisc decks, and yeah, they are very good, great sound quality, and they also have, as you may know, a PS2 port, so you can connect a PS2 keyboard to title your discs and your tracks and whatever. But for some reason, I have the weird problem that after 2 years or something like that, the recording function started to fail. So I had this mini disc deck, this JE640, and whenever I wanted to record something, or whenever I wanted to edit something, like divide tracks or erase tracks or title tracks or title the disc or anything that would require the mini disc deck to write something onto the disc, it would somehow mess up the TOC, the table of content, which resulted in the mini disc being unreadable, or sometimes the devices thought that the mini disc would be blank, even though I just recorded something on them and all I did was title the tracks or something like this. So somehow it started to mess up the table of content. So I thought, okay, this is pretty weird, but playing discs worked fine. So I thought, okay, maybe the problem is not the laser, maybe the problem is the record head. So I bought another mini disc deck that was broken, that had, I don't know if it had some read errors or whatever. And I bought this deck and I swapped the record head, only the record head. And sure enough, everything started to work fine again. But then after 2 years, the same problem started to occur again. But yeah, apparently there is something wrong with those record heads. After, I don't know, a couple of years, for some reason they stopped working. And I just had the other mini disc deck and I took a closer look at the record head, and when you put a mini disc in, I noticed that the record head doesn't really sit entirely flat on the mini disc. It was slightly tilted or slightly above, so it wouldn't touch the surface of the mini disc the way I think it should. So I started fiddling around with it a little bit, and I started bending it a little bit so that it would sit a little bit nicer on the mini disc. And sure enough, after I did that, the recording and editing and everything worked perfectly fine again. And yeah, right now I have this mini disc deck here that seems to have the same problem. So let's take a closer look at it. So this is the actual thing. And by the way, all you have to do is remove this and those two ribbon cables and then undo those 4 screws and you can just take it out. So now let's pop a mini disc in. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. You have to do it with a little bit of, I wouldn't call it force, but you have to do it kind of fast so that it really snaps in. So let's see, I can do that. Almost, but I think it's in. That's what it looks like. So now I have to pull this so that the record head would go down. So now the record head is down and hopefully you can see it. If not, I'm going to use some photos that I took earlier. But yeah, you can see it doesn't really sit. That's where it can't focus anymore apparently. But yeah, as you can tell, it doesn't sit directly onto the disc. It's slightly tilted, it's slightly above. Where do I have that screwdriver? Here. So I would say it is actually supposed to be kind of like this, not like this. You see that difference? Yeah, and I think this is the problem, that it's not sitting nice and flat on the disc. Maybe it's a little bit too bright. So let's just go over here. This way, yeah, this way you can see it nicely. So if I lift this up, you can even see the reflection of the record head right there. So I would say this thing needs to sit flat on the mini disc in order to write properly. So I have to somehow bend something right here so that it sits nice and flat on the disc once it's lowered, so that it doesn't stay up like that, and then it should work again. So let's do this. So in order to remove the disc, first I have to push this thing in so that it lifts up the record head. Let's see where I can hold everything. So that's that. And then I have to basically just move this stuff somehow, yep. And then pop out the mini disc like that. So in order to remove the record head, you have to unplug that little thing right there, and then from the top you can see there is a little screw in here that sits down here at the bottom. So you have to undo this screw, and this way you can remove the record head. And by the way, if you put the record head back in, not only are there 2 holes on the left and right side, and there are little how do you call it, little bumps or whatever that go into these holes. So this way it's nicely in place, but there's also this little plastic lever or whatever that has to go underneath this thing, because this is what holds the record head up, and this thing moves back in order to lower the record head. So now I take out the record head and try to bend it so that it sits nice in place, or yeah, you know what I mean. So I'm trying to make things a little bit more easy for you. So yeah, if you have the record head out, you can see there. Come on, focus. You can see that it's not really sitting properly. Let me try to show you what I mean. You have to bend this right here a little bit, so you have to push down here so that it sits nice and close on this thing, like come on, like this, so that it's, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for right now. Oh damn, I'm looking through the camera, which, so it needs to sit like this. Shouldn't be like this. See that difference? So yeah, I have to push this a little bit down right here, bend it this way, and this should hopefully do the trick. So let's do it like that. Sometimes before putting everything back together, you can also try to test this yourself to see if it fits nicely. Come on, focus. So to me it looks better than before. So let's put this thing back together. So it's now put back together. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's definitely better than before. So yeah, it looks good in my opinion. Definitely better than before. So let's see if it actually works. So here we go. Moment of truth. First, let's see if the mini disc works. Yep. So now let's go to input. Just record a little bit of silence. Okay, that should be enough. And hey, it works. So now let's try to title a track or the disc, doesn't matter. Name in, disc. Yes, let's just call it this works like this. Let's just call it test. Yes. Complete. Hey, it works again. So yeah, this is how you apparently fix the record problem, or the problem with your mini disc recorder corrupting the table of content whenever you try to change something, either if you want to record something new, or if you want to title something, or if you want to erase a track. Yeah, so apparently it seems like that the problem is, I don't know why it happens or how it happens, but over time, the record head isn't, I don't know, it just seems to change form, and there comes the point where the record head just doesn't sit flat on the mini disc anymore. So it is a little bit above the mini disc, and therefore it can't write the information correctly onto the disc. And all you have to do is slightly bend the record head a little bit so that it sits nice and flat on the mini disc again whenever it writes or records something. And yeah, this is how you solve this problem apparently. So yeah, this is awesome. Name in track 1. Just trying to test a little bit right here to see if that works. To really confirm it. Because that's basically where it would already have problems after doing something like this. It would either say blank disk or TOC error or something like that. No, it works. So yeah, it's great. I just fixed, this was actually, I do have to admit, this was actually the second one that I fixed right now. I already fixed the other JE640, which was a black one. But yeah, apparently I just fixed my 2 MDS-JE640s and they work fine again. Well, I'll be damned. What a joy. So I think I still have another mini disc deck somewhere. I don't know what exactly it is or what exactly the problem was with this one. If there was really the laser unit broken, or if I just wanted to keep it because it also had a PS2 port, or because it was also a Type R recorder. I don't know. I also don't know what to do with these ones right now. I don't know what I will do with these ones. I mean, basically I'm not really using mini discs that much anymore. Difficult. Maybe I will sell this one and keep the black one. We will see. But yeah, it's nice to see that they work again. Success. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope I could help you. I mean, having mini disc decks like this one with PS2 port and A-Track Type R, it is very depressing if they stop working. I mean, sometimes you can find laser units that you can use to replace if the laser is burned out or something like this. But if the recording fails and if the record head starts to malfunction, that's a whole different thing, because I have never seen anybody selling a replacement record head or something like this. But as it turns out, you don't need a replacement. You just need to, quote unquote, readjust the record head so that it sits nice and flat on the mini disc, and then it works again. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more random videos, movie reviews, mini disc videos, whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I definitely want to do more movie reviews and stuff like that. Yeah, and if you like this video, if it helped you, give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next random video. Bye. Can't believe they work again. Ah. Awesome.